morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Momentum. I'm Ethan Smith. I'm the media director at Movement Church, and I have with me...
I'm Richie, and I am the lead pastor here at Movement Tipp City, Ohio.
It's the Morning Momentum, and today is National Flapjack Day.
Oh.
Now, a little clarification here. Flapjacks versus pancakes. So, if you're listening to us in Europe, which you never know, we might have some listeners, a flapjack is like oats, like a granola thing that's fried. And a pancake is batter that's fried.
Oats.
Yeah, it's like a granola flapjack, oat granola thing.
Ugh.
You don't like granola?
I like granola bars, but I'm just thinking of throwing granola on a skillet and frying, like...
Well, they're like granola bars. I don't know. I've never had one, I guess. But if you're in Europe, have a flapjack on us. And if you're in the U.S., have a pancake.
So is it National Pancake Day here in the U.S.?
No, it's National Flapjack Day.
Just flapjacks.
But for us, flapjacks and pancakes are interchangeable. So
Okay, all right.
And, it's just a reason to have a pancake on a Monday morning.
Thank you for sharing that. I recently learned that Disney World has Mickey Mouse pancakes.
Wow. Great connection.
They have
That
Mickey
seems
Mouse
really
everything.
easy to do, though. That's not that crazy.
His
ears are circles.
They don't call it Mickey Mouse, but what is it? Bob Evans has this piggy pancake thing that my kids always get. And really, it's like two big ears, like Mickey Mouse, but then they put like a banana for the nose, and they call it piggy pancakes.
Why wouldn't they put like bacon in it? Does that make more sense?
You get bacon or sausage with it.
Piggy pancake.
Yeah, they call it the piggy. That would make sense. But then you got kids asking too many questions. I never thought about that, but that's true. Like my kid with his piggy pancakes, he eats pork, bacon, or sausage. And so, wow. Thanks for ruining that for me.
Yeah.
Please don't tell my kid about that.
That he's eating a pig?
Actually, the other night we were eating pork chops, and my oldest son shouts out, "Hey, do you guys realize we're eating a pig right now? You think it's all the same pig or different pigs?"
It's a good question. It's probably different pigs.
And then my youngest was like, "What? We're doing what?" It's like you're eating pork. Oink, oink.
You need okay. Oink, oink.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah. Anyways, but it was a good question. And now I'm thinking about it. I would say not. No. I'd say...
What was the question?
Is it all one pig or different pigs?
Oh, okay.
I think... I could be wrong on this. And if you work at Kroger, please let us know. Kroger is a marketplace here in our neck of the woods that you go to. And I would bet, now I could be wrong on this, but I would bet that the butcher gets a full rack. Is that what it would be, maybe?
What are chops? Wait, what was it?
Pork chops. So they have to cut them. They would come in an entire pork loin, I think, maybe.
What's a chop?
I don't know. That's the cut, maybe?
It might only have so many chops.
We probably need to look into this. But anyways, I'm sure if you get a roast or something, the butcher, or T-bones, the butcher sits back there and cuts them up, or sirloin, or any type of thing like that, any type of cut of meat, they cut it down to the size that you want it. Mm-hmm. And so I would say probably all the same, because he's probably sitting back there packing the meat off of one piece, cutting pieces from one piece. So that's what my guess is. But if you can help us with that, we would love your help. This is Monday morning.
I don't know. I just think it's all different. I think they have their meat. Meat industry.
Can I just say this? It is too early for this talk.
Let me hit the other side with it. Today is also Plant Power Day.
Plant power.
So to get away from the meat talk, have some vegetables.
Okay. Well, should you have vegetables if it's Plant Power Day? Because you're taking the power away from the plant by eating it.
The plants are giving you power.
Okay.
I've heard someone say, there's vegetarians because they want to be healthier. There's vegetarians because they don't like the meat industry. There's also vegetarians because they don't like plants, and that's why they eat them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tree on that note?
Favorite tree?
Yeah. While you think about it, I love Japanese maples.
Okay.
I like it. They're pretty. They, after a couple years of growth, they get real good shape to them. They're hardy. I like the little red leaves on them. Mm-hmm. So that's my favorite. I like those.
That is an odd question. I'm not gonna lie. I think I might have a couple answers. I'll say an elm tree.
Okay.
Only because I live in Elmwood.
Ha 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 ha.
But I do like the sycamore trees in Ohio. I think they look very cool. But the only bad part is they're like the I'll say dirtiest tree. They drop a ton of sticks.
Yeah, they're pretty
bad.
They're
so like big and cool looking. So I'd say those.
I think those are pretty cool. I like weeping willows. You ever seen like the big weeping willows?
I have.
And it's like they're straight out of the Lion King or something.
It's like a fantasy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So, well, let us know what is your favorite type of tree? My mom had a favorite. We had a pear tree that was in our front yard, and one time it got blown over because of a storm.
Man.
She wasn't very happy.
You know what our answer should be? A Buckeye tree.
I bought my brother a Buckeye tree once.
Yeah?
Actually, he graduated from the Ohio State University.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
I know that.
And for his graduation, Kristen and I got him a Buckeye tree.
That's cool.
But guess where it's planted?
Behind his garage.
My parents' house. He lives in Columbus, right down the street from the Ohio State University.
And it's in your parents' house?
And it's at my parents' house, and yeah. So
cool. I planted, so I have a Buckeye tree in my yard.
Okay.
I planted it a long time ago. I took a Buckeye seed, like a Buckeye, from a local park, and I went home and I planted a bucket, and I transferred to the ground, and it's probably almost 11 feet tall now.
Oh my goodness, that's really
going.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how old would you say that tree is?
Maybe 9 to 10 years.
Oh wow, about a foot a year, a little over a foot a year. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. I like that. And speaking of that, we just came off of a big weekend here at the Movement. Pastor Doug was here.
Yes.
And he was preaching. And if you don't know Pastor Doug yet, you can go to movementchurch.community, and you can go on there and you can see the latest message stream on YouTube. You can also go to YouTube at the Movement 937, and you can watch his message on surrender.
Yeah.
But there's something else he does. What was the other thing he does again?
He does a podcast.
A podcast.
Like we do on Wednesdays, called The Wednesday Shift at 8 a.m.
At 8 a.m.
8 a.m. He was on, if you remember, last Friday. He was on here. We had that pizza. He got his time wrong, of course. But it's 8 a.m. And I think he was struggling. I think he really didn't like that pizza.
No,
But he was trying to keep it cool on here.
He
But
gave
I
it
think
a two or something like that. What was it?
A 2.5 or something.
2.5. It was weak.
He probably could have gave it negatives if he could have.
I think he was being nicer than what he should have been.
Yeah.
So Pastor Doug comes out. He preaches on surrender, challenges the church to a entire church fast for the Lenten season. I was going to say for the month, but that's not accurate because it's for the Lenten season. So 40 days. And so he comes out, he challenges us to that. And I think the thing that's cool to talk about when it comes to a fast is it's not always food. Mm-hmm. I grew up never really thinking of fasting being a food thing. It was always something that you would give up. Mm-hmm. And so, I can remember a time, Ethan. Oh, man, I'm so stupid sometimes. I don't know what grade I was in, but I gave up listen to me. I gave up homework.
Nice.
And my teacher got mad at me and asked me why I wasn't turning my homework in. And I informed her that for religious purposes, I had given up homework until Easter.
Solid answer.
Solid answer, I thought.
You were right.
My parents didn't like it. The school didn't like it. And let's just say I was never able to fast homework again.
Ever again. What a story.
Anything crazy you've ever given up?
No.
No?
I was never a rebellious child.
Okay. You're lying.
I never gave up homework. It was I think we talked about fasting 2 weeks ago.
I don't know. Probably.
A little bit. But I mean, for me, it was always like food. Just trying to like combine dieting with fasting and killing two birds with one stone, you know?
Yeah.
Which doesn't work.
No.
That's what I always did.
No, but I think it's cool, though. There's a lot that you can do in that. But, yeah, I can remember doing that. I remember the go-to at church. You would always hear all the other kids did this. Like chocolate, pop, cookies, you know, that kind of thing. And so you always had something like that you were throwing out there. I'm giving this up. I'm giving that up. But, man, we were challenged to look at different things. You know, when I was a kid, Ethan, I know this dates me a little bit more, but, like, I can remember a time that we didn't have cell phones.
Whoa.
I think I was maybe 14 or 15 when I got my first cell phone. And it was a Nokia push-to-talk. And so I had that. Social media didn't come out until like my second year of high school, and we had MySpace.
Yeah.
And so on MySpace, you know, we were getting on there and ranking our friends.
That's such like an insane like ranking your friends. It's just there to break friendships up. Like when you think about it. Like,
oh my gosh, the amount
like
of
why
issues,
would you even do that? Like
the amount of
you can
drama.
rank your friends.
Yeah.
It's like that sucks because I'm never number one.
You had the amount of drama that took place because of that. The other thing that you did was that you put playlists on MySpace. And so, you know, people would get mad because they'd be like, oh, what was that song about? Was that about me? Was that about me? So, you know, all these stupid things. MySpace, it served its purpose. It was pretty stupid. And then my second year of college is when Facebook came out and got real big. But I can remember this when Facebook first came out. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but it was only for college students. And you had to have a college email address. And at that point, I was going to Sinclair Community College, and they were not on the accepted list for Facebook.
That sucks.
And so, like, I was always, like, trying to figure out, how do I get on this? How do I get on this? And then we get on it, and then now you're trapped.
Yeah.
And but I say that to say this, is that one of the things that people are often challenged to during the Lenten season, and I see it right now as I look through my phone and seeing all the people that have given up social media. But, man, what a great thing to give up, though.
Yeah. It's a lot better than chocolate.
I mean, what's the point of fasting, Ethan?
That is a great question, and I'll tell you. It's so usually you take something in your life it plays a big role in your life that's not necessarily helpful to you, and you take it out, and that's kind of where people stop, I think.
Yeah.
But the main part is what you put in is your time with God. And so you're replacing that, what's not so good in your life, with something good. And so that helps you grow and kind of move away from the bad and kind of start to grow your relationship more. So that's the important part that people seem to forget a lot.
Yeah, I think it's great because when you can replace oh my gosh, Ethan, do you get, I'm saying this now, like I think I'm going to dread saying this, but like, do you ever get the messages from your phone on Sundays that tell you what your screen time was?
Yeah. Yeah, every Sunday.
Isn't it the worst?
While I'm in church. And I see it.
Mine as well. Isn't it like the worst sometimes? You're like, oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
I spent how much time?
It's honestly like, it's a great thing that they do because it's like, I need to stop. But it's kind of odd though. It seems like they wouldn't want people to not be on their phone. But like to see that, I'm always like, crap. Or I'm like, nice, I was down 12% from last week.
You know what I think people should do? I think that if you are fasting, listen to me, if you're fasting social media, you probably got it yesterday, but I think there's a way to go back and look. Go back, figure out what your screen time was last week. Take a screenshot of that. And then see if it goes down over the next couple weeks. Because here's the reality of what takes place, okay? You give up social media, but you know what you pick up?
What?
Roblox.
What?
It's a game.
I know it's a game.
You pick that up, you start playing that, you start playing games on your phone rather than social media.
Yeah.
And so what are you supposed to replace that social media time with?
Not games.
Yeah, time with God.
Time with God.
But all of a sudden you replaced it with games or surfing the net or saying, here's my favorite one.
Surfing the net.
Here's my favorite one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You go on and you watch YouTube Shorts because it's not social media.
YouTube Shorts are brutal.
So
They get you, man.
that's what I'm saying,
They
though.
get you in there.
So how does your screen time differ? And I'm telling you what, it's so important for us to be able to take this time, though, to focus in on what God has for us. And this is a perfect opportunity, a perfect chance to be able to do that. And so we were challenged that. We were challenged fasting could be in the form of what you watch on TV. Maybe you watch too much news and it just tears you apart to watch it.
Yeah.
I know of multiple people that watch the news literally every second of the day, and all they have is negativity about everything that's going on, and it just consumes them.
Yeah.
Think about how much different your life perspective would be if you changed the news with some Word of God.
Yeah. A lot better.
Night and day difference.
Yeah.
And so he challenged us to that surrender piece, and it's hard to surrender stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Because it's like, usually what's the worst, like what we need to give up, is what we hold so close. And so it makes it even more difficult. And I think that's why we usually go to I'll do chocolate or I'll do sugar. Because it's like, I don't really care. I can do without that. But the stuff that's really holding us down is what we hold too close to our hearts, I think. And so that makes it all the more difficult.
I almost feel that when you sit here and you go, okay, what am I going to fast? You should say no to the first thing that you think of.
Yeah.
Chocolates? No. You know why you should say no to the first thing you think of? Because it shouldn't be your thought on what you give up. You should spend some time praying about it.
Yeah.
And what is it that consumes my life? What is it that's getting in the way of my relationship? And if you want to go physical on this so you can physically see it, what's in my way of my relationship with my siblings or my wife or my kids or my friends? What's getting in the way of that? Mm-hmm. What am I missing? I've gotten really bad at this, Ethan. Going on that topic there. I started something like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I don't know if it's at fault, if it's a bad thing of what I've done, but I have made the decision to live in the moment. Okay?
Okay.
And so I am so guilty of, about 6 or 7 years ago, I'd go to a concert and record almost every single song. I'd post it on social media. I'd do all this stuff. If we were going somewhere, my phone was constantly in my hand. I was constantly taking pictures, constantly recording things. And I got to the point where I finally just said, I need to live in the moment. I want to experience this for what it is. And sometimes it sucks because I look back and go, man, I didn't get one picture.
Yeah.
My son's baseball season just ended this past year, and I went back and I was trying to find some pictures to send to somebody, and I realized I was like, I didn't get one picture of him playing baseball this year because I was so caught up in living in the moment. And so my question is to you, Ethan, what's your thoughts on that, man? Like, it's good to have memories, but it's also good to live in the moment. Am I missing out on a part of it, or what do you think about that? It's something I've never talked to somebody about. I'm curious.
Yeah. I think it just depends, because with something like your son playing baseball, I think that's something that's very dear, very close, and so even a couple pictures, just to remember it. But when it's things like concerts, like recently, a couple weeks ago when I visited with my siblings in DC, we talked about, I didn't take a single picture. I'm kind of the same way. And I'm going to be honest, I never really used to post pictures, but I used to take them so I could look back or send them to people. But I realized, sometimes I don't even look at them. So it's really just about enjoying the time with the people you're with. But I think if it's something, important versus just like an activity, I think a couple pictures are good to remember. But don't make the whole thing about taking pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you're listening, why don't you join in on this? Tomorrow on Tuesday, there's going to be a post that's going to ask you that. Do you live in the moment, or do you take lots of pictures? And we'd love to know your take on this. Do you live in the moment, or do you just like to take as many pictures as you can so you can sit back and look at them later?
Yeah.
And we'd love to know what is it that you do with that. But in this moment right now, it's really important. How are you living this moment right now? Are you living in the moment, or are you consumed with everything else that's going on? And so we want to challenge you, as Pastor Doug has challenged you to surrender. We want to challenge you to do just that, to surrender the things that are getting in your way of seeing God and hearing from God in this time of our lives. Lent has always been a breakthrough season for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I believe that it can be a big breakthrough month for you as well. And not only just you, but also your friends and your family. Right now we're running this, I don't know what you want to call it, man.
It's not really a campaign or anything.
No, it's just that we want to be able to give back to our church family.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is, if you bring somebody to church with you, your name gets entered, their name gets entered, and you get a chance to win a trip to Kings Island for you and 3 other people. Mm-hmm. A nice dinner for you and some friends, or you and your pastor, mm-hmm. or you and your media director, or some pretty sweet movement merch. Yeah. But we just feel so incredibly blessed by the things that you guys have done for us that we want to be able to bless you as well. And so this month, I want to challenge you: bring your friends, bring your neighbor. Who else can they bring, Ethan?
Neighbor, coworker.
Oh, that's a good one. Coworker, yes.
Coworker's good. Let me think.
Classmate?
Classmate. I was thinking of the word, and I was like, co-student is not the right word for that.
You could bring your co-student with you.
Your classmate, coworker. You said neighbor. Someone you see at the drive-thru.
Ooh, grocery store?
Grocery store. Like, hey, you want to go to Kings Island with me?
I'm telling you, it's a great pickup line.
It is.
If you're single out there and you're looking for, your mate or whoever, it's a great way to be able to say, hey, want to go to church with me? And then, hey, second date Kings Island.
Okay. I was going to say get lunch after.
Oh, yeah.
Get lunch after.
Would you like to go to church and get lunch?
Not at church.
Not
after.
You could church. Though. We're that kind of church.
We are that kind of church.
If you want to bring some enchiladas in and have them during service,
because we had our Super Bowl, our football Sunday. We had hot dogs and popcorn in here.
We consumed 60 hot dogs that day
in the church.
Listen to me.
Service.
At 10:30 in the morning.
Wild. We got mustard stains on the floor to prove it.
We do. We have scars on the floor.
It was wild. It was a lot of fun, though.
It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. You are right. And so we like to have a lot of fun here. And so we want to challenge you to bring your people. Mm-hmm. I can't say your friends, because maybe you'll bring somebody you don't like with you, because you're like, they need Jesus.
Hey, well, you brought them to the right place.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're doing that. And then, you know what? I'm going to be real with you. I'm just going to say it, because I'm going to say what a lot of people say, Ethan.
Yeah.
Okay?
Let's hear it.
They see Wednesday nights at the movement, and they read prayer night.
Yes.
You know what that says to me?
What?
Just being real. Snooze fest.
Snooze fest.
Snooze fest. Prayer night? Yeah, I could pray at home. True. But let me tell you something.
Okay.
What we have learned is that prayer is so important to our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the biggest things that we're focusing on here at the movement is we know that God has something very big in store for us. And so we're praying about quite a few different things right now.
Yeah.
And whether it be location, who's walking into these doors, whether it's praying about the hunt that's going to take place, or all these different things that are going to happen, Easter. And we believe in the power of prayer because we have seen how the power of prayer works.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you something. When I was young, and I'm talking 10 years ago, young in ministry,
Mm-hmm.
I thought the same thing. Prayer night,
Snooze fest.
yeah, I can do that later. I'll figure out what they're praying about. I'll pray about it later. But there is something about coming together and praying for God to do big things, and then to celebrate together whenever you see that God is working and moving.
Yeah.
And so we want to challenge you to come out with us. If you can't be here in person because you're online, you let us know, and we would love to bring you in on a Zoom prayer meeting as well. And we just get together and we take some time. We pray about the things that we know that God is calling us to, and we are just seeking for what it is that He has for each and every one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge for us.
Yeah. I think what's cool about this, and also kind of going back to the fasting stuff, but it's like when you have that community, it just makes it so much more meaningful because you don't have that feeling of you being alone. But when you have that community of the church around you, and they're all not going through the same thing, but they're all there for the same reason, and you can really keep each other accountable and support each other, I think that makes it so much more better.
And I love being around people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be real. Like, we have a good time. It's not about just sitting around singing Kumbaya. Like, we have a great time. And so we want to encourage you to be praying for those around you, for those that haven't walked through the doors yet, but also be praying for your church and what it is that God has in store for us. So it's Monday.
It is Monday.
It feels like a Monday.
It does.
And but I'm going to tell you, I believe that God has something so big in store for you today. And I'm excited for your week. I feel it. I'm telling you. This is the countdown. You know what it's the countdown to?
What?
The Morning Momentum on Friday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. There is a halftime show in there. That's the Wednesday shift with Doug.
Mm-hmm.
And you can join him and make sure to hit subscribe when you watch his podcast. If you have not hit subscribe on this one yet, make sure you do so, because I'm telling you this, you want to be a big part of us hitting triple digits here soon.
Triple digit club.
And absolutely. Be a part of it.
Yeah.
There's going to be a big gift at the end of it.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what it is. Bat pizzas for everybody.
Pizzas or, well, I don't know.
Or we'll just say a prayer for you.
We could. I mean, I was going to say like gifts, but I mean, we don't know who these people are, so we can't really send them gifts.
I'll tell you what. We'll pray for good weather to take place in like the next month.
And we'll do a live show.
And and so we know that there are big things ahead for you this week. Keep your head up, keep pushing forward, keep moving, and let the momentum carry you into tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And we know that God has something big in store for you.
It's
Ethan,
going to be a good week.
Words of encouragement, my buddy?
It's going to be a great week. Take every day as a new day. Go into it with excitement.
Gusto.
And don't let the previous day get you down.
Absolutely. All right. We will see you guys Friday right here, 7 a.m. It's your Morning Momentum.
See you Friday.
See you.
Hello, my name is Doug Doms. I'm the executive pastor here at the Movement Church. It is through your blessings that this ministry continues to reach out and touch lives that might not have been touched otherwise. If you want to continue to support our ministry, please go to movementchurch.community. And please remember to tell your friends, go on social media, tell your friends at Movement 937. God bless you and have a wonderful day, and thanks again.